I'm always very curious of how somebody like this can't be better. You know, he's taking lessons from people. I think that.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Really exciting video today. I have on Brian Manzella joining us from New Orleans. Hey Brian.
How you doing, Brendan?
Okay,
Little
when
under the
Brian
weather,
was
so if
out,
I do this a couple times, I
yeah,
apologize, folks.
that's fine. When Brian was out here in California a couple months ago, we did a really popular video that went around the world called Unsolicited Advice. That was for Rory McIlroy. We're going to do it for another golfer today because it's making a lot of buzz because of some things that are going on in Hollywood. So we're going to be talking about Adam Sandler's swing. And one thing I wanted to make clear before we do this is the difference between Happy Gilmore, the character, and Adam Sandler. Famously, Gary McCord and Peter Costas, during the Tin Cup movie, they were hired to make Kevin Costner look like a realistic looking tour player. Now, they didn't care how much better he actually got at golf, but they did want him to kind of look like it. You know, if they put what they did together with, you know, some good editing and the certain angles, you know, at the right time, they could make the whole thing kind of believable. What we're talking about here is Adam Sandler, the actual guy, is a guy that's been around golf and golfers, famous golfers. I think every famous golfer has met him because through the movie.
Absolutely.
And
David Toms, when there was the anniversary of the first movie, which I think was like a year or two ago, no more than 2 years ago, David Toms was here in this studio taking a lesson. And he says, "Oh, we got one more thing to do before I leave." What's that? I got to film me hitting a Happy Gilmore shot and then telling Adam Sandler, "Congratulations." And I had to teach him how to do it. Like, it's not something that a normal tour player is going to do because, you know, if you don't do it right, you can hurt yourself. But if you do it right, you can hit it further.
Yeah.
Again, Patty's good at it.
All right. So we're going to talk about Adam Sandler's swing. So I think at Hillcrest here in LA, somebody captured a swing of Adam Sandler's. In general, I thought this was really good to talk about because it's a super typical move that golfers do. So I wanted to get your unsolicited advice for Adam Sandler.
Wow, it's bad. Right? It's just bad. Right? It's so bad. First thing is it's you know, super flat. Right? I used to teach 100 years ago when I was in Louisville. Me and Mike Finney taught John Schnatter, Papa John. The guy had two full-time trainers, gals, that were in great shape. And John was in great shape. And he could never get his arm up any higher than this. Right? Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of people out there like flat swings. You're not pretty much going to see his top of the backswing position on tour unless somebody's hitting a 70-yard wedge shot. Right? So you start with, he makes a pretty big turn and he makes this super duper ridiculously flat, short backswing. I'm sure somebody will have Ben Hogan in that same position. Yeah, good luck with that. And then just a complete shaft, you know, what people call steepening, but just starts to rotate it right away.
So there's him from the top there, right there, Brian.
Yeah, that's it. That's ridiculous. And he's really not gonna be able to quite have the Ben Hogan body downswing to be able to get back on top of it there. So part of why he steepens it is so he can hit down on the ball some. And part of why he steepens it is obviously when he does that 2D steepening, which is just closing rotation, really.
Yeah, so he's gone from that super flat positions and now he's way over top of it and with the shaft very steep.
And he's doing that, I promise you, for the same reason that 99% of the people do that. And they hit it better that way, right? And why would that be? Well, the club's so open in his hands, maybe, or he doesn't twist the club down enough. He's certainly not a handle dragger. That would be the other reason. So I think what happens to these celebrities, you know, we've talked about this before, Brendan, that I'm always very curious of how somebody like this can't be better. You know, he's taking lessons from people. I think that a lot of teachers, and these are people that are good teachers, I'm not taking anything away from them. When they teach a famous person, they kind of back off a little from their normal, the person's paying me my rate and I'd love to get the rate again and make them a better player and teach all their friends and then go up on my rate, right? So you're trying to help them. And you have to break things sometimes to help people make better golf swings. They don't do it. They obviously don't do it. Like Steph Curry, he's obviously not a tour player when you watch him swing. There's nothing that any tour player does that Steph Curry couldn't do. Why can't somebody teach him out of his obvious, he's not a tour player, 2 or 3 little goofy moves that he makes? Don't know. But in this case, what I would do with him is I would take away the reward for this move by getting his arms up like a normal person on the backswing and probably addressing the open club face elephant in the room. And I certainly could do it like we did that video one time with that young gal out at Costa Base. I could do it with a guy that coordinated that can run up and hit a golf ball in 15 minutes. Now, whether he would stick with it, that's a whole nother ball of wax. It's part of teaching, convincing people that they need to stick with it. But getting him to make a swing that looks better than that, it would be nothing. It would be the easiest part of my day one visit out to the Southern California.
Can you grab your club and just step back a little bit and show me where Adam is at the top, and then show me where you would want him to be? Okay, and then what would that process be like to actually ingrain that?
The easy thing is I would go over there and put him there.
Right.
That's too, you explained it would take 10 minutes. But once he got his arms up, I would just let him hit it to see ball, hit ball. He'd probably my guess is he would make the same move.
Right.
Right. He'd make the same move anyway. And then he might miss it because he's got all this room to come over it and get back under it. But then the other thing would be what is his club face doing through the ball, right? I mean, it's obviously too open. He's trying to do this and to hit it where he's looking. If he just learned to have a normal swivel and lag the sweet spot on a downswing, this would change this guy's look immediately. Right. The way he's built, it's never going to look great. He doesn't look great doing it, right? Because, like a lot of us, he's not in perfect physical condition. So I'm not saying he'd look like Adam Scott, but there is no reason for a guy who's partly famous in the world of sports because he did a really funny golf movie and he did another one. There's no reason why he couldn't make a better swing. So that's what I would do. I guarantee his grip stinks, sight unseen. I'd show him the top of the backswing. I'd watch him hit a couple balls from there. Might get lucky and not have to fix everything because the backswing and the grip would probably fix some of the things. And then I'd show him, hey, look, this is what you have to do with the club face on the downswing and through the ball. And, look at the ball's going over there. Now we got to change our body position to help move the path in and out. This is, like if you lined up like I used to do for the year I did Sports Illustrated at the majors and I gave 600 lessons. This is 150 of the 600 lessons. This exact, right. 150. Knowing I was going to do the last 3 majors by myself, I did it with a bunch of the other top 100 teachers at the Masters, and then they
when
said,
you say the majors, they brought you out to the major golf
tournament. Yeah, so Sports Illustrated
used
to Time Inc. used to be the parent company, and Sports Illustrated and Golf Magazine were 2 of their little babies underneath them, and they had this promotion, and we went to the Masters, and it was a big tent, and I'm just better at that than the other famous teachers that they had.
Yeah,
there's no contest for it. But if there was, I'll win. So Dave D'Annunzio is the editor now and was the instruction editor and said, Brian, you think you could stand up long enough at these next 3 events, which was 2 U.S. majors and the Ryder Cup, which was in Chicago, Medina. You think you could do it on your own? And foolishly, because I was about 15 pounds heavier than I am now, and I'm 25 pounds overweight, so I was 40 over, I said yes. So we started, the next one was the U.S. Open where, I was there teaching David Toms, who almost wins, has the 36-hole lead. And I was a little bit more worried about that. But I taught all these people, they lined up in Union Square, and I taught around the clock for 6 days, 5 days. And then I went to the PGA at Kiwa and did it. The 3 that I did by myself, I gave 625 or something like that lessons. And I knew I was going to do it. Like, okay, I made the deal. And so I said, well, there's 2 things I want to test. What's a better, I get this for free.
Yeah.
I'm going to, because I have TrackMan running and we hitting balls in the net and not even a hit screen. I'm just going to change everybody's grip that needs a grip change, which was like 85% of the people, and see what happens on the next shot. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't changing their address position. I ain't changing nothing. Feet, aim, not telling them what do I do? Hit it. 85% swung less to the left. Now, I wasn't taking super strong grips and weakening them. They were basically, everybody was holding it like a salami, and I gave them a normal Adam Scott grip. And they know. I mean, we would have never got out of the jungle, folks. The club face is open, even if you don't even play golf. And what I'm saying is 85%, no matter what the path was, if they swung 2 degrees inside out, they swung 2.5 to the right or more. If they swung 8 degrees outside in, they might have swung 5 degrees outside in. But on the next ball with no other, so people don't realize how important the grip is. And in this case with Sandler, I'm sure his grip is bad and his club face basically control in the swing is not that good, and somebody needs to lift up his arms on the backswing. You can help people like that, right? I remember seeing Sylvester Stallone swing at a golf ball thinking, that ain't that good, man, And these NFL players, that they could do anything, right? And they got guys that could have played 3 sports, and they just make bad golf swings. And, I was a pretty good jock in my day, and I'm sure Brendan was too. We don't make terrible golf swings, so if we can do it, they can do it. And the other folks out there listening that watch stuff like this and great content that's put out on this channel, golf swings are changeable. Somebody's got to go in there and do it, and I would have no problem doing it with this guy.
So if you've been watching Be Better Golf recently, you've heard this term the difference between kinematics and kinetics, and the Happy Gilmore swing, the famous one where you run up and you hit it. He was a hockey player, so he's using the skate, put on the brakes and smash it. So you run up and hit it. He did that for the Happy Gilmore anniversary. And it's this video that we're watching now. And it is, without a doubt, a much better swing than that static one he did on the range. That technically should be an easier shot. A pitching wedge technically should be easier than a drive. Adam Sandler hits this running shot that he hadn't done, he said, in 25 years. And he said it's the drive of his life, and he couldn't really believe it. So talk a little bit about why was it better running and hitting it for Adam, way better than it was just statically.
There's a couple things about the Happy Gilmore swing that I use as concepts when I teach. The easy one is that what you're trying to do generally from the top of the swing here, there we go, is you're making this move down from the top. Good players are not doing this, right? They're making this move down from the top that's basically shifting and staying somewhat closed. Every good player in history, okay? They're not opening up right away, and they're not shifting 0. They're shifting some, they're staying some amount closed. Some people do more, some people do less, whatever. When you're doing the Happy Gilmore swing, if you ran up, I'm going to come into frame here, if you ran up and you were facing the target and you swung off your right foot, you could hurt yourself, you'd probably fall on your booty. It wouldn't be very good. So how you do it, and I'll do it to the camera now, is you run up, you're running up like a soccer style kickoff guy, right? You're running up on kind of a 45 angle, and then you're doing a little stutter and you're backing in. So you're doing a Rory McIlroy transition for free, just so you can swing hard at it, right? Now, in Sandler's case, not only is he doing that and not that crazy thing, because you can't really come over the top of it. You're running at this angle. You're closed. You can't do that and make contact. So you're running up there closed. And the other weird thing is he gets his arms up higher, which, because it's more athletic, it's free, he's trying to hit it. And then what you have to do to hit the ball, you have no choice. You have to, you're closed, whether you like it or not. You then have to cover the crap out of it on a really firm, over a really firm left side, which all these old books that I bought after Katrina to replace my golf library, they all said hit up against a firm left side. Now, all it means is this leg is solid and you're turning into it. And you have to do that, boom, in a Happy Gilmore swing. And when you swing past your left leg, the rotation of the arms is sort of like going to happen. You're going to pull a ribcage muscle. And this guy, Sandler, obviously doesn't rotate the club very good in his normal swing because of that little move that you see with him really just trying to not probably hit a dead straight slice.
Right.
So you could use that in the lesson with him too. You could just say, look, here's a one-step version of it. He just do a one-step, just a kaboom. Okay, see that now? Do the step without moving your foot, right? Do a Nicholas. Take your left foot and put it, and then eventually you'd have the best of both worlds. One of the things you're always trying to do in a golf lesson is try to come up with an analogy to something that somebody can do. He got one sitting out there for this guy. You show him where his arms are. You say, hey, you don't have to hit this ball. Just go ahead and do one. And you get a couple angles of it, and he would really see, well, shoot, this is why it's believable in the movie. The whole point of this is he actually can hit a golf ball that way. Is he hitting all the shots in the movie? No. But he can. It looks like the son of a gun would go far. Now, he's older now, but that's the whole movie. So to have a guy that can pull that off and fool real golfers and people a lot of people like Caddyshack didn't play golf. To fool real golfers with the harder to do swing, on paper, and not fooling anybody with that swing that's on YouTube is sort of a crying shame and something that you could easily do something about.
10 years ago, I won a contest on the internet, and I got to play golf with Patrick Harrington. It was like a
I never knew that.
Yeah. So it was a golf training aid that I had, and they said, hey, if somebody makes a video about this training aid, then the golf swing shirt. If somebody makes a video about this training aid, then we will fly you out to Los Angeles to play golf with Patrick Harrington at Trump National. Well, I already lived out here, and I was one of, I think, only like 3 people who actually made a video. So I got to play golf with Patrick, and before his round, he said he needed 5 balls to warm up. He hit 3 Happy Gilmore shots, 2 wedges, and then we went to the first tee. So I wrote to Patrick last week, and I said, golf really needs this. One Champions Tour event where he does Happy Gilmore swing every driver. It would be so fun, and he would probably win. So if you can get this message to Patrick, I'd love to see it at the Dick's Sporting Goods or at one of these other events. And because I know, I mean, it really was.
Mr. Jacobs would probably strangle me, but I'll mention it to him the next time I run into him.
Okay, it could be fun. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. If you're interested in seeing more about Brian, go to Instagram or Twitter. It's Brian Manzella on there. Just search Brian Manzella. You'll see him come up there. Thanks for watching, everybody.